We're
Hey!
live.
Hello! How's
Hello.
everybody? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we have Brie on today. And Krista, it's good to see you. Y'all, I missed you last week. I kind of cyber stalked y'all in the background, watched it as best I could while we were out. Well, not last week, we were actually hunting. The week before that, I was out at a hunt like a girl event that we did with Beretta, where we had our contest winner, Christina Jones, on site with us. And so we kind of cyber stalked you guys, but we were having so much fun. I'm sorry. We watched the whole thing. Sorry. I did watch it later and y'all did a great job, but we have been busy with this new facet of Shoot Like a Girl hunting, and it has been a lot of fun, but a little bit tiring. So I may drop off here. As you all can see, I am at this gorgeous truck right here. It is getting ready to leave. I'm meeting our driver. It's gonna leave out today and head to Hammond, Indiana, where it'll be this weekend with the team. And we're just excited to see everybody. You know, all you folks that know people in Chicago, it is just literally across the border. So go on over to Hammond, Indiana, and learn about firearm safety and about firearms and archery and shooting sports, and just have fun. Get out and have a great time. So Krista, how are you doing? Brie, it's good to see you.
I'm great. I'm great. I'm glad Brie's joining us today.
Yes, thank you guys. I'm so excited.
All right. Well, we've got some people on. So Karen, you always talk about filling the room, and it started filling very quickly. So you'll be happy with that. For those that are joining us, you know, we've got Brie with us today. Brie holds multiple hats here with Shoot Like a Girl, and right?
I do indeed.
And today we have her as a guest. We're going to talk about a really important topic, and that's being a mom and the decision to conceal carry, right? It's not necessarily an easy decision if you aren't a mom with a young child or even a mom with an older child. But when you add that component, it does change a little bit. There's a dynamic change. So Brie's going to come on and chat with us a little bit about that. Brie, I'm going to turn it over to you. Do you want to kind of share with us a little bit about who you are and your connection with Shoot Like a Girl?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you guys for having me on. It's so fun to be here. So I was in the shooting industry and hunting industry for about 7 or 8 years. And then last year, my little guy came along and made the decision to be a full-time stay-at-home mom and watch him grow up. And do not regret that decision at all. And it's just been super fun to be at home with him and watch all of the things happen. And so just Karen is just so gracious with Shoot Like a Girl and getting plugged in. And I just love the company. I've been involved for many, many years as an instructor, and then kind of helping behind the scenes with some content. And so it's fun to be here, and it's really kind of fun to share how I've grown, not only as a professional, but as a mom, because this is a brand new journey for me and a new season of life. So I'm excited to share.
I feel like there's a lot of women out there that don't really know what to say, what to ask, where to go. They kind of feel like they're kind of alone. It's not a subject that's talked about a lot. Now let's talk before baby though, because you were carrying before you had your baby.
Yes, right? Yes, absolutely. So being in the industry and just being involved in the shooting sports for a very long time, even in high school, I shot shotguns, and that evolved into other types of shooting sports, and then eventually carrying a firearm for protection. And I've carried as long as legally possible, and so I think I've been to a lot of training. I got to go to gun sight when I was a little bit younger, get some real life experience, just figuring out kind of what personal protection looks like, all of those different types of avenues of, how you can be your own best advocate and best defense, and maybe not even it being a firearm. Maybe it's something before that, right? Pepper spray or I have a whole system that I go through. So before baby, I was really tied into, you have to have a belt, and you have to have a holster, and you have to have a certain type of gun, and which was great because I had tons and tons of training on that. and I'll say this just to caveat, in high school, my dad was all about teaching me situational awareness, about paying attention. And so, so I won't say a firearm is definitely the one and only solution, but it was definitely the one I was used to the most, being involved in the industry and things like that. So once I became a mama, I mean, there's all these books on what to expect when you're expecting and how to install a car seat and all of these things that kind of prepare you for life with a little one. But I think one thing that I wasn't prepared for was just how vulnerable I felt.
That's a really, really valid point. Karen, I see you twitching over there. Are you trying to comment?
Well, because, I think it really makes a great point that Brie's talking about, pre-child, you have it all figured out. And then that child, you think that it's not going to change that much, but it does. And
all of life changes, right?
Not only like what is more comfortable and how you carry, especially when you've got your baby on your hip but not on your hip, or how the diaper bag, all of those things really kind of come into play. And then that you added that you felt vulnerable, to me that is really a very good point, because suddenly you're worried about somebody else's safety other than your own, and you don't have your familiarity with the tools that you use to keep yourself safe. So how did you deal with that, Brie?
Yeah, it was weird and hard, I'll say that, and awkward in all sorts of ways. But I went really, really slow and just took one baby step at a time. And no pun intended there, but
right.
Yeah, Karen, like you said, you just have this other life that you are responsible for and that you are responsible for protecting. And I realized I had nothing in me other than my mama bear drive to be able to protect him. And so I just had to fidget, really. So I will say this till my dying day, the belly band holster changed my world. And that's from Crossbreed. And if you don't know what a belly band holster, it's an elastic, waistband, basically.
Yep.
And they did a really great design of, you can put your holster on there, but then it covers the holster, so it's extra protected. And I will say this, it gives me so much more confidence when the gun is on me. So when the firearm is on my person rather than in a bag or in a diaper bag or something like that. Just because babies move a lot, and my little toddler, he just runs around. And so not forgetting a bag somewhere or things like that, to have the ability to not have to wear a belt, right? Most of the time I'm in gym shorts or yoga pants and a t-shirt. And so the belly band holster has been just phenomenal. And I can't say enough good things about it.
Right. I think that you make a very valid point. You have to choose what works for you and the environment that you're in, and adding a young one, particularly that may not be sitting still or running about. There may be times where you have to drop what's in your hand or off your body. Oop, we lost Karen there for a minute. Drop what's in your hand or off your body in order to get back to what, they are doing. Yeah. And so knowing where your firearm is, which is really important. If you did off body carry in a bag, that bag would need to be able to stay on your body through that whole process.
Right.
And then finding what works for you. Oh, Karen's wearing her off body right there. Yeah, she's got her gun toting mama's top draw bag on her. You can see she's in a parking lot. I'm going to use this moment, educational piece. She's out in the parking lot talking to us with her focus on the phone. Right. So she's reduced her situational awareness around her. I can guarantee you behind those sunglasses, her eyes are on a swivel. But at the same time, she's not leaving herself in the lurch. And being a mom, you have to do the same thing.
I have to interject here, and I don't want to take away from Brie, but y'all, I am very stereotypical towards vehicles. Like if you see a vehicle in a movie, and so behind me, I have like the vehicle from Back to the Future, that the little terrorist vehicle. So, I'm like making sure I stay looking that way. I can't see all at all because the sun's in my eyes, but I am making sure that I have that vehicle in my mind. I have no idea what people are in it, but I will tell you that the vehicle itself is on my list.
Thanks for sharing that. So, Brie, I want to talk to you a little bit about what you went through to now transition from no baby and carrying to carrying with a baby. I mean, was it instant? Did you just do it overnight?
Yeah. So I think for me, it required me to call really deep on my courage and to understand um, that I would do anything necessary to protect him. And what tools do I have in my tool bag to be able to do that? And I will guarantee you that a firearm is going to be my last resort, but it's the only, if it's the only resort I have, that's what I'm going to be able to do. And so I think, and I'll just put a caveat in here, I think moms get a really, really rough rap of just having so many things to do. And I just want to say this, if you're a mom and you're worried and you feel like you just need to add this to your list, take a deep breath and practice with an empty holster walking around the neighborhood, right? I think we just get so overwhelmed by, all the choices we have to make. Do you eat organic food, or do you give them Pop-Tarts, or do you, right? How long are they supposed to sleep, or what's their respiration rate? Or we're just worrying about all of the different things. And so for me, it came down to realizing, okay, I have food for them, I have water for them, we can survive, but how will I make sure that we are protected and that we can be able to do the fun things that we like to do? And I'll say this, being able to carry has given me confidence to go and do adventurous things. So my son and I, we love to get outside and we love to go backpacking, or I stick him in our backpack and we go hiking by ourselves. Mind you, I have a whole system in place of telling people where I'm going and water and check-in points and things like that. But being able to carry a firearm and do that and know that I have the resource on me to be able to defend us in case a situation turns sour is really, really confidence boosting.
Right. I'm going to reflect back on a couple of things that you said. That the concept of walking around the neighborhood, being in your community with an empty holster on, even if you don't have a new baby that you're challenged with and working on, do I want to carry with that baby? That's an excellent step for any new firearms owner. Even if you've been a firearms owner for a while, but you're dealing with a new holster.
Yeah.
We all learned to drive or did something in our life that didn't put us at 55 miles an hour first, right?
Yeah.
And we had to kind of walk the walk and take the steps to get there. And that empty holster concept is a great path to do it. It's a comfort level, helps gain confidence, and will make you a more engaged mom. Yes, Karen?
Yeah, and I also think that what's really important is it's okay to have a little fear. Mm-hmm. A little fear of people that you're using is not a bad thing. And so a lot of times people are like, there's nothing to be scared of. Well, that's true. There's nothing to be scared of technically, but some of us have fear surrounding it. And so I think it's okay to admit that fear. As long as it's a healthy fear, it really makes people more responsible, safer gun owners, in my mind, to understand that the ramifications of pulling that trigger and the responsibility that you're taking on. So, I mean, kudos to you. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, I had a friend who said, you give fear a seat at the table, but you decide what it eats.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's very true. It's got to be a part of it. So I got to ask one more thing. We're actually pushing up against our 15 minutes, and we do have one question that we'll answer as a group here in a moment. But based off of this personal journey that you've been going on, which I expect for every person would change over time, right? Because as your little one grows and becomes more curious and inquisitive, you'll be changing things based off of your need. But is there one bit of advice that you would offer new moms straight out of the gate that you've experienced that you feel like is a good tidbit?
Yeah. And I want to give that caveat of, I'm a brand new mom with only one child. And so that's only one person taking my attention. I'm sure it will change if we have more, but can't imagine if you have more than 3 children at the same time. The most practical advice that I can give, and this is just a scenario, probably the most vulnerable I felt was putting my son in a car seat while shopping. It just feels, your back is to the parking lot. You can't really look around because you're trying to wrangle an octopus. And so my one piece of practical advice would be to put your grocery cart behind you when you're loading your kids. That creates a barrier so that if somebody is coming up behind you, at least you have a little bit of a barrier instead of coming up right behind you. And even open the hatch so that you can look out and see those people. But that's my practical advice. My mom's advice is, this is a really hard decision no matter where you're at in your life. And I think it came to light for me because of the amount of kids being humanly trafficked. And it's just staggering the amount of numbers that's happening in the world. And I took it upon myself to realize I am going to protect my son at all possible costs, and what that looks like, and use the most tools that I have available to me. And there's a cascade of events and tools and readiness levels that I experience. So, and like I said before, a firearm is definitely going to be the last, but I feel like I have an obligation as a mom now to be able to protect him and do everything I can.
Absolutely. Brie, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, it's a true intimate concept. It's not just a subject to talk about. And for those of you that are watching that may not have a little one at home, the advice is the same. Like, everything equates over to you just protecting yourself. Particularly, we might not be putting a baby in the car seat in the car, but you could be putting groceries in the trunk or putting something in the back of your car that you purchased. And as soon as we take our eyes off of our surroundings and we disconnect from the area, we basically offer up an opportunity to someone who wants to do harm. So do your best to use everything around you to keep yourself safe. We do have, I just want to share, we've got lots of people that are saying, thank you so much. This is great information. I love the advice. Mama bear concepts, right? So I think that's something that comes to us naturally. We do have one question, and I'm going to answer it. I think we would all answer it the same way. And someone said, well, what is your carry? And what we've learned over time is our carry choices are personal, right? It's one of those things. It's what fits you, what fits your hand, what fits your goals, your task, and your training model. You got to find that journey for yourself. And hopefully you can come by the trailer and visit with us, because we offer the opportunity for you to experience the fit of multiple firearms that are out in the market today to kind of help you get that feel to see what works for you. Karen, any final thoughts before we close up for the night?
Tell people I have a gun for every outfit.
Right. Well, and I do the same thing between my shoe source and my firearm source. It's a decision every day, right?
Right.
Brie, thank you again. Thank you. Y'all be on the lookout, right? So hopefully you guys are following us on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe to our webpage. Brie will have an article that will come out very soon that's in reference to moms and caring and the journey that she took. And so if you subscribe at shootlikeagirl.com, you'll have the notifications that you need to be able to see those articles as they post. Don't forget, with every Facebook Live, like, comment, or share, and we draw a winner. Oh, Karen. Whoa.
I mailed stuff.
Okay.
So if you had a Shoot Like a Girl swag bag and you provided Krista your address, I actually dropped it off at the post office today. I feel so proud.
You should feel proud. So don't forget, everyone, we mailing is definitely not necessarily our A+ strong suit. And then we're traveling a lot. And when we travel together and consecutive weeks at a time, there's a little bit of delay in the process. So thank you for being patient on that.
I think I've been home maybe 5 days the last 3 weeks. So
no, less than that. Only if you count these last couple days, because prior to it was 2 days.
Oh, that's 4 weeks. So 5 days in the last 4 weeks.
Yes. All right. So let's draw our winner from our last live. So remember last week we put up the "We're in the Woods" and chasing some thunder chickens a message so we wouldn't be on our live. And the week before we had Dan Compton with Federal about the 22 punch. And so our winner from that live is Robin Reese. So Robin, I'll send you a message, get your address, and we will get a swag bag out to you as soon as it is possible. Sometimes it's sooner rather than later. I promise you we will not have forgotten about you, though. All right, ladies, thanks for joining us tonight. Karen, be safe in the parking lot. And for those that are in the Hammond, Indiana, Chicago area, I can't wait to see you this weekend. We've got a full team there, and we might have a surprise guest on Saturday. So come check us out.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
you, Brie.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.